Glass cannon. Oh, so happy. What do we got? Ooh, I like speed. We need speed really bad as his character. It's going to be a close one. It's going to be a real close one here. Oh, well, that... Oh, my God, dude. Welcome back, everyone, to the BD1P Binding of Isaac modded series. Today is going to be a Samuel run for win number 4 and episode number, I think it's like 264. The reason we're already in the run is because I recorded my intro, then I realized I was actually muted, so we're already in the run. I apologize for that. But anyways, your question for today, put your answer in the comments down below, is going to be, what is your opinion on shows, like TV shows and movies doing fake out deaths? Let's get started. Your seed today is going to be LNPYBSXR. What I mean by fake out deaths is like when a show will try to convince you that a main character or like a villain has died, and then in a couple episodes or movies bring that same villain back. A famous example might be Emperor Palpatine in Star Wars quite a few times, quite a lot of Walking Dead characters, just things like that. And I don't want to give too many heavy spoilers in today's video, but I am going to be talking about Season 6 of The Walking Dead as well as the 9th Star Wars film, so bear with me there. But I guess to start off here, what's an example of a bad fake-out death? And I think a good example off the bat would be Emperor Palpatine in Star Wars. If you aren't a big Star Wars fan, I don't really blame you. It's not for everybody. But the main villain of all 3 trilogies so far has been a character called Emperor Palpatine. He is this political figure who is secretly like working for the bad guys and gets, or I guess he is like the leader of the bad guys, but he finds himself in a position of power being the Chancellor Supreme of almost the entire Republic galaxy, right? And it turns out when they find out that he's a bad guy, the good guys, or I guess the supposed good guys, try and kill him, take him out of power, and destroy any chance he has of remaining in power. Now, things go a bit haywire, and he escapes and ends up starting his own little cult on this thing called the Death Star. This big space moon in space, I guess. Don't get hit there, please. And blah, 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 like 6 movies later, he's dead. Luke Skywalker, our main hero of the original trilogy, throws him down an exhaust shaft. He blows up. Then they fly away, and the entire ship he was on also blows up. Now, fast forward another 3 movies to the well-known and well-hated sequel trilogy. There is no mention of Palpatine in the entire first 2 movies of that next trilogy at all. It's just like there's this weird guy named Snoke, there's this bad guy named Kylo Ren, and that's pretty much it. There's really not many other villains to go off of there. Now, in the final movie of this trilogy, they get a weird transmission from a secret spy on the bad guy's side, and that transmission says that Emperor Palpatine is back alive, which there was no foreshadowing for. There was no hint of him ever being back. It just happened on the last movie of the trilogy for whatever reason. Now, when I say there was no foreshadowing, I'm kind of being misleading because there was foreshadowing. In the famous game Fortnite, there was a weird hidden transmission that went across on all Fortnite users in-game, like their headset, right? Yeah, I could take GB Bug. And it was the Emperor laughing. That was the foreshadowing we got for the Emperor being back, was a motherfucking Fortnite, like, laughing sound. Like, why? Number 1, it defeats the whole purpose of the original 2 trilogies to have him come back, because that was supposed to be Palpatine's arc. It was the arc of Luke and his father kind of coming together and saving the galaxy from his tyrannical rule. And it ends in a pretty good note because Anakin, Luke's father, was the chosen one and was pretty much manipulated by Palpatine to be his right-hand man in ruling the galaxy. Now, come to the final movie of the original trilogy, Luke and Anakin take him down, and Luke turns Anakin back to the good side, and everyone's happily ever after, but Anakin actually dies, so not really happily ever after at all for him. However, like, he's dead, and the galaxy is saved, and you know what? I'll be real with you. I didn't hate the second movie of the sequel trilogy, The Last Jedi. I thought it was actually decently good. Weird heart. No, I don't want that. That's okay, I guess. I was a guy who thought The Last Jedi was actually pretty okay. It definitely, in my eyes, was the best. Oh, GB Bug rolled you right. of the sequel trilogy. And setting up Snoke as this bad guy, then killing him off immediately, only to put Kylo in power for literally 30 seconds to have him be another right-hand man again to Palpatine this time. To be honest with you, dude, it makes like zero goddamn sense. And to be quite frank with you, like, I'm a pretty big Star Wars fan. I actually really enjoy Star Wars as a franchise. I've played pretty much every video game. I've seen every movie. I've watched every TV show, even the 2003 Clone Wars, like, short thing. I've seen, like, every piece of Star Wars media. And when I see something bullshit, I'm gonna call out that bullshit. It's stupid and it's ridiculous. Like, even to a point, I think the original trilogy, or sorry, the prequel trilogy, the ones with Anakin and Obi-Wan and all of that, I have 3 heads. Interesting choice there. I didn't think that one was really that bad, although it's pretty hated among fans. I thought that the prequel ones were, like, decently okay, if that makes sense. Give me another item here. Watch this. Okay, Pentacle picking up items may also grant an item wisp of the same type. Sure, we'll go for that. We'll get some troll bombs out here. Why not? You know what? I'm going to keep going deeper here. I want to go for more key pieces once again. It's kind of my new motif on this streak, is just sacrifice as early as you possibly can. Get the good key pieces on your side. Keep your angel precedence going strong. You know how it is. You know how it is. And we'll go for pennies here. You know, I guess hearts is not a big deal because this character has a decent amount of HP to start. The question becomes, do we fight the second angel statue? You know, what's going on in our shop right now is my question. King Baby, we can take that for Heart Conjoined, I guess. How about the scratch ticket? Luck upgrade, okay. What about the sack, huh? What's in here? 2 keys? You know, I'm gonna do it. The increased angel deal chance sounds pretty good to me. And we can actually get another pocket active charge here and then do some big damage. Apparently taking damage in that form still gives you a bunch of bone orbitals. That's really good. If we just do this, yeah, we can just pretty much farm infinite orbitals. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good strategy. But as a big Star Wars fan myself, I need to recognize what's good and what's bad media, and I'll say that the first 2 prequel films, garbage. The third one, though, is like my favorite Star Wars movie ever, but that's pretty much all I can say about those movies. It's just, like, Palpatine was supposed to be dead forever. That was the point of the OG trilogy, was that the big evil is gone, everybody's okay now. That's not bad, but if we're going for rerolls here, man, I would have loved to have Wafer, but I guess Beelzebub 2/3 is not that bad either. It just would have been nice, man, to have, like, a standalone villain, a brand new story there. But I guess to move off of our discussion of Star Wars and go to a better piece of media, what is a good example of a fake-out death? Glass cannon. Oh. How does this work? It still works. I mean, man, I guess we're going with glass cannon right now, huh? I like the item. It's just very dangerous to have. A good fake-out death, in my opinion, would be in the show The Walking Dead. And I know the show is kind of trashed upon now because it's gone on for too long and stuff like that, but as a first-time watcher of the show, and I'm only on, like, season 7 right now, the show has not gotten bad in my eyes yet. I think the show so far is actually still really good, and I have never been bored watching it once so far. And there is a scene, spoilers by the way, in season 6, episode 3, where, can I just rush in here? I guess I can. One of our main characters, his name is Glenn, supposedly dies. And this is how, I'm going to give you guys a rundown on how this actually happens here. It's important to know the how behind the fake out deaths. So Glenn and the side character Nicholas are kind of going on a little bit of a run. They're looking for supplies and materials, leading these big walkers away, zombies I should say, from their home base. And in the middle of this, they get trapped on the top of a dumpster, backed against a wall with no way out. And this Nicholas guy is known to be a coward. He's tried to kill Glenn in the past to get away from walkers. He's a bit better now, but he's definitely known to be quite the coward. And when he kind of notices there's no way out of this situation, he pulls out his gun, And he says thank you to Glenn and shoots himself in the head. I know it sounds like really, really, really morbid. Can we do this? No, we cannot. It would have been a cool strategy, though. We'll go for this for conjoined, I guess. Why not? And then we'll get the hell out of here. But first of all, I want to say, in his character, and for him being like a coward, this definitely makes sense. But he pulls a gun out and shoots himself in the head. Whether it be out of cowardice or try to to help save Glenn, we don't really know. He just shoots himself in the head. Now, you as the watcher watching this scene are pretty taken aback by Nicholas's actions of suicide. So you don't notice that with the way he was facing, he falls on top of Glenn, pushing them both into the mob of zombies right below them. And the camera pans down to see Glenn lying on his back with guts spilling out of him as walkers are chowing down. And it looks like there's no audio for him, but it looks like he's kind of screaming or yelling or kind of in pain. Now, this makes the watcher assume that because Glenn is so hell-bent on helping people, he helped Nicholas get over his fears and get over his cowardice. He's helped every main character plenty of times. The watcher assumes it's kind of just like I don't want to say an allegory, but more of just like an ironic death, because Glenn was trying to help this guy, but helping him ended up killing him. And as you're watching, you get really sad, because Glenn's been a character since the first season. He's been around for hours and hours of this show, and it really hurts to see a main character like him go, especially because he's about to become a father. Not even 2 episodes later, it's implied. Well, it's longer than that, but it's implied it'll be 2 episodes later, right? And you get depressed because you're like, man, Glenn was my homeboy, and now he's dead because this motherfucker Nicholas is too much of a pussy to live. And you get really mad. You get kind of upset. Actually, my girlfriend got so mad at that scene that she refused to watch the show for 3 days because she was so mad at Glenn dying. In a good way, though, in an emotional, I don't want to watch the show. It's too hard at this point. And a couple episodes pass, and you get kind of a flashback to Glenn dying. And because you just were talking to his wife in the previous episode, you assume this is kind of just an honorary gesture towards Glenn and his life, because you're kind of like, man, to kill off a main character like that takes some balls. Why don't we look back at what Glenn's done and kind of honor his death a little bit more in the show? Except for, it takes a weird turn, because the camera, from where it was panned where he was getting his guts eaten out, it pans slowly further out, and you see that on top of Glenn is Nicholas's body laying sideways. And the walkers aren't eating Glenn, they're eating Nicholas's body, giving Glenn the chance to sneak away and escape, which, lo and behold, he ends up doing, which is I was just so happy. What do we got? Ooh, I like Speed. We need Speed really bad as his character. Now, I was really happy because this scene not only made sense in character for both of these people, but also was really uplifting. The way the shot is made, where it makes you think he's still dead, and we're watching him die over and over, only to have him come back to life or I guess still be alive, I guess, and doing his thing. It really is a gratifying feeling. And it may sound cheap from an outsider's perspective, but I promise you, that was almost a terrible hit for us. The way it was handled in the show was astoundingly good. I mean, because there's this kind of thought process in The Walking Dead where nobody is safe. They have had no problem killing off main characters before on a whim. T-Dog, Tyrese, the 2 little girls, the sisters, the governor as well. Everybody has the equal chance to die, except for maybe our main character Rick and Daryl and Michonne, I think, have no chance of dying right now. But there's a pretty known thought process that everybody in the show is going to have their moment of death, and it's a very scary thing to have to know as a watcher, because your favorite character could be dead in an episode. We just got the glass cannon knocked out of us there, dude. Oh, boy. What can you give me? You know what, dude? Take it away. I don't deserve this shit anymore. Arterial heart? Ooh, big boy headless baby. Yes, please. I mean, you can't really say no to it. The more familiars, the better, I guess. I kind of want to buy this, too. In fact, I think I'll just steal it and we'll fight greed right now. But they prey on that feeling of you knowing that nobody's safe except for, like, you know, Michonne and Rick, and they use that to weave this super emotional scene of what you would assume to be our next major character death happening. Wait, what does that say? Void every locust in the room? Oh, random locust. Okay. It really is kind of ingenious in a way that the show knows that we know nobody is safe, and they use that to get an emotional response out of us. Now, they have done that once before, Pressure Gauge. I don't really care. They do that same thing once before with a baby character, like someone who was literally a toddler. And I think it was also done really well because I think the reason that these fake out deaths are so bad is because when you do a fake out death, ooh, cool looking Hornfeld doors here. Help me. When you do a fake out death for the first time, and okay, yeah, that seemed very fair. I'll be honest with you. I like that one. Thanks, Hornfeld. Really appreciate that, man. How do I hit this motherfucker in this room? Do I even have a shot here? Oh, I have plenty of shots. Hold on. Go in the corner, little bitch. All right, we did live that fight very closely, though. But when you do a fake-out death for the first time, it kind of ruins the stakes for anybody in the audience because... Oh, do you know how badly I want that? I'm going to take Rotten Baby either way right now, but... Oh, actually, screw you, dude. Yeah, we're going to go on down while we're talking and bantering here. We'll grab this and we'll move on, I think. Yeah, why not? But when you do a fake out death and you realize that characters can be kind of like trolled and to come back to life or whatever, or still be alive, it does ruin the stakes a little bit. But because they only do it in very rare occasions, and the first time they did do it, it was to a baby that doesn't really have the same kind of, like, I don't want to say severity to it. It's kind of unfair to say to the baby down there, but it doesn't have, a big rock maybe, or small rock? The small rock. Okay, good. It feels less cheap because, well, the baby was safe. It's a baby. You don't really expect the baby to die, and why are fake out deaths so... I gotta narrow that down first, I think. And I think they're so bad is because, like, they, number one, ruin the stakes, and number two, they insult the audience by not allowing the story to properly progress. Clicker. Yeah, no thanks. I'd rather not right now. And The Walking Dead doesn't really fall on either of... Wait, that prevents quality... Oh. I had no idea. The more you know, right? And The Walking Dead still treats the audience with, like, integrity. Because it's not like you're stupid for not knowing the character was alive, or it's not trying to elicit a response out of you, because the response comes from... Oh. Yo, okay. The response is more weighted, I guess, in your connection to the character rather than, how do you phrase... It's so hard to phrase this kind of thing. It doesn't feel cheap in The Walking Dead because there is reasonable doubt to believe these characters can get out of the situation. Take Palpatine, for example. We literally saw that man get exploded. There was no shot in hell that man was going to be alive. Another button up here, huh? We can get up here easy. Like, and there was no foreshadowing to him still being alive. It was just like he died and that was the end of it. He shouldn't have been brought back. With Glenn, they, number one, didn't really make you wait. And number one, get it? Didn't really make you wait a long time to see it. It wasn't some big, like, in the future, Glenn comes back. It was like an episode later. And they also, like, give you reasonable doubt to believe he's still alive by mentioning that he's about to be a father soon. Okay, well, you're up there now. All right. Easy. We'll just take it down. And by never really kind of confirming that he's dead. When you see a character die in The Walking Dead, usually, like, there's a really long scene of them either having to kill themselves to not become a zombie, or, like, another character killing them. It's never just a character dies to a walker off screen, and I guess it happened once before, though, with T-Dog, but it's very rarely a character is just, like, off screen and is implied to be dead. It's either yes or no. And in Glenn's case, where we didn't really get a definitive answer, there was always still going to be hope that he would still be around, you know? It was always there, which I think makes it a little bit better. But I don't know, because like Glenn was not the main character either. Like if they were to fake out Death Rick, it would be kind of cheap, because I think as the audience, you know you're not going to lose Rick. He's the main character. We're not going to lose him before you lose somebody else in that same regard. We've already been down here, right? Right, okay. But you know what I mean? Like, you're not going to think you're going to lose these characters, at least the main ones, that fast. And, like, Glenn really hadn't had any significant role in the last couple of parts. It was weird. It was really, really weird. I don't know why it didn't feel cheap to me, because now that I'm talking about it out loud, it does feel kind of cheap, because before he died, they gave him a really long speech about helping others and why, you know, if you don't help somebody else, you're the reason why humanity is going to be dead. Like, they do give him kind of this moment where you start to realize in your head they might kill him off here, but does that make it less cheap? I don't know. Because I know I'm making it sound like this fake out death is kind of cheap, but I promise you, like, it's not. And I can't really nail down why. Maybe it's the build up to it where you assume he's going to be dead and you kind of already have that emotional reaction kind of stocked up. And then once you get back into the show, you find he's actually still alive. I don't know, because that's the thing that I hate. But in this show, it works well because they haven't done that kind of thing before. And maybe that's why. Maybe each like franchise only gets like one good death revival, but after that, like if you do any more, you're ruining your own franchise there. It's like Star Wars hasn't really, because there's a weird thing in Star Wars where death is not really permanent. Like death is already implied to be just a different form of existence, if that makes sense. We're going to the negative this run. It's already implied that there is life beyond death to some degree. And maybe that's why when a character supposedly dies but comes back like an actual human, it's weird to me. Because there's so many more avenues you could explore in Star Wars with death. You could have him become like Force ghosts. You can have him just become like dyads or weird shit in the Force. I don't know. Like, they chose the lamest way to bring him back. There was no foreshadowing, no build-up. He was just there. And maybe that's why Glenn's worked, is because there was foreshadowing. There was a bit of unnoticed beforehand, and that kind of made the death sting more. But then it also makes when he comes back feel that much better, I guess. I don't know. That might be the reason why we are also zooming right now. Good pathing? Terrible pathing, actually, mind you. Terrible, terrible pathing. But maybe that's why it works so well, is because you need to have that tension, that buildup, and then that kind of like obscurity of the facts of the actual death. If you don't know what precisely happened in a death, there is reason to believe that they are still alive in pretty much any medium, especially superhero bullshit. We're gonna walk in here and give it a second. We are actually doing really well. Our HP could be much to be desired, but I think we're doing okay, honestly. Okay, good fight there. We get, is that Speedball? Synth Oil, even better, dude. And we're moving on down once again. And we found our boss fight already. Really good shit. This run should be a win if we don't fumble the bag at the very end here. But to wrap up our discussion, I think each franchise gets one well-done death revival. But after that point, if you do any more, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot there. Because if you keep bringing characters back to life or faking their deaths, then every death in the show or movie is not going to matter. There's a reason why nobody cares for, like, dead Marvel characters, because, like, if they're dead, there's a good chance you can bring them back to life anyways. Like, we've seen so many cases of that. There was a whole movie about bringing the dead back to life, and there was a lot of them coming back. So, there's a reason in any kind of comic book or anything like that, that when you bring a character back to life, or when you kill off a character, they're going to be back. There's different universes, there's different ways of resurrection in DC and Marvel. Like, it's never permanent, and that's why I think comic books as a medium, from a storytelling perspective, have gotten a lot worse. But that's a topic for a whole nother day, isn't it? Already found our boss fight again, so you know what, man? I mean, I'll roll this into a key, sure. I guess you go and fight. Again, your HP is not looking, like, excellent, but I think you're going to be okay. That's a dumb hit. That's a very bad hit to have happen. Don't fumble the bag, please. You are not a bag fumbler. Okay, phase 1 is done. Huge. That was a great Makala Mott pop. Where are the feet at? Here we go. Good. Get him on the creep. Fantastic. Okay, Satan is down. Good. Get the mark. Get the mark. All right. Can I get 9 lives in this deal? Can I get ceremonial robes? Like, what do we have going on right now on this floor? Incubus, Sanguine Bond. Oh. Yeah. You already beat Mega Satan, so don't worry about that fight. That was pretty good for us. I like dolls. It was a free doll's head. Pretty much just walk through these rooms. It's not, well, you can fight like, some of them because you're going to get like chests and drops like that. But make sure you're being careful. Your HP, again, is not in an amazing place right now. Ay, ay, ay. I got to focus here. Why did I go for the nickel? We don't need money anymore. What was I doing there? Can somebody explain my thought process there? It was not me, because I have no fucking clue. Okay, we finally found our boss fight. It's going to be a close one. It's going to be a real close one here. Luckily, one of them is not dead. He's a living. Okay, now he's a dead man. How do we ensure our victory here? You have polar, no, you have negative. That's right. Oh, well, that... Oh, my God, dude. Open up 2 chests, and it's the 2 best offensive items in the entire game, back to back. Oh. What the fuck, man? What the fuck was that bullshit? How do we gonna live this fight? Opens up and gets Sci-Fly Botfly, hello? Well, you win. We got the Void Portal, though. We've already done Delirium, though. I don't really feel like doing it right now. The run, I think, is good enough just to end off. If you enjoyed it, a like, a sub, a comment, all that stuff is good for my channel. Please do it. I will give you a big fat kiss on the lips if you do. Aside from that, though, I've been BD1P. Peace out, and goodbye.